Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Arcane Isles. Behind us here, we've got a little bit of a roof. Yeah, I haven't really done much with that. It's basically just I added a roof. That's it. Although, like I mentioned before, it's not so much a roof as a second floor, and I'm already not entirely sure if I want to move it. A couple things is I wanted to bump up the floor here because I wanted to have a step up, and if I do that, then it's going to be too short in here. So, I don't know if I like it yet, but I do know that I want to get moving on actually building, so yeah, let's get started. One of the things that we've been needing to have for quite a while, and it's been kind of bothering me I don't have it already, is villagers. So if I go ahead and type in Vill, we will see we have a conjure tablet, a tablet of Conjure Island Village. What this is, it's kind of expensive there. It takes a blaze rod and a diamond block, so it's intended to be kind of mid-game, which is about where we are, I guess. Let's go ahead and make one of these. Now, the thing with these is it's an island, yay, with a village on it. It's pretty self-explanatory by the name. But the thing is, villagers are dumb. Villagers are very dumb. Villagers like to wander around, and yeah, this isn't exactly a safe place for them to wander around, so that's going to be a problem, but I think we can kind of just ignore it. So we need to make some fences around that, I think is going to be our fix. I would like some of you, please. Hit R down here. There we go. Let's grab... That might be enough. We'll see. And I also need a ritual brazier, which I don't have on me, apparently. Any in here? Not that I'm seeing. Where did I put that last one? I just finished doing this island here and clearing it out. You are a containment ritual, I believe. Yes, I don't need you running anymore. Okay. Let's go ahead and find a spot for some villages. And in order to place this village, I'm kind of torn. Do I want to make it trying to be symmetric, or do I forcibly not have it symmetric? Go over, say, here. I think we're going to go with non-symmetry. So the main island there is, of course, symmetric. I've mentioned before, I want to have a few other random islands just floating around. Probably some Archwood Islands because they're the cheapest. And I think what we're going to do... let's go closer so we don't fall. There we go. Flight Ritual is only 50 or 30 blocks, I think. Maybe 60. I can't remember. Either way, it doesn't work over here. Apparently I have a creeper down there. We'll deal with him later. Let's make ourselves a quick spell here. Underfoot and Mage Block. There we go. We're going to put you right here. Hello, thank you. And you are a great spot. I had a Ritual Brazier on me, didn't I? Okay, well, oh well. Have to now. Let's go ahead and plop. Actually, not. Let's find out first. I think this... Several villagers. Okay, I think that I only need one jar with this, so we should be okay. Let's grab a jar from here. Cool. Good. Didn't just drop that. Source jar. You can go right here. Let's get our flight again. There we go. Watching that up in the upper corner there. Okay. I hope this is enough room. We will find out. Let's clear that and hit run. We'll be back when this is done. Oh look, a skeleton. You were not actually invited to this party. I'd prefer if you are not here, actually. Especially because we will have some friends here shortly. I think there are lights. Yes, there are. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and find all of our villagers and make sure that they are safe and protected. Hello there. You there. Can you go into a house? Perfect. Yes, is there a bed up there? What are you doing? Inside. Go inside. I wonder if they don't see this. There we go. There's a bed. Someone go find that. Thank you. Another bed over here. Let's place you down too. There's 3 of you. Okay. I'm about to watch one of those walk off the edge, aren't I? Another bed in here. Hey, villagers. Come over here, so you can be safe. Yes, good. Slightly concerned about your friend not being visible right now. And I don't have flight here, which is going to be fun. We'll just make a quick box around you. Thank you. There's 2 of you that I've saved at least. It'd be really nice if the edge here is within flight range, and I don't think it is. You? Nope. Okay, cool. Well, we're kind of stuck here, but it'll work. Nobody took this bed, so I think we just have these 2. That's going to be a little annoying. Okay. Well, Okay, well, not ideal, but this will work. We have 2 villagers, Mr. Fletcher here and another Fletcher, of course. I think you guys are only Fletchers because you don't have anything else within range, which is good because you're kind of stuck in here. So let's go ahead and grab an arcane core. This gets us our fancy-dancy shady villager. Right there, right there. Okay, well, they may be stuck as Fletchers, but we can fix that with some more beds and some potatoes. Let's go ahead and grab our bed here. What is this? Mage bloom block. Okay. Another bed. I think we're just going to do this without flight is probably what's going to happen. Let's break you. Thank you. And close that off. And give you a little bit more room. Cool. And inside here, we're going to just place down more beds and hopefully get ourselves a few baby villagers. Excellent. One of them decided to actually take me up on the shady wizard trade here. You would like some mage bloom. That's not exactly what I was hoping you'd get. I do, however, also come with some composters. Would you like to be a farmer? Probably not, but I don't have too much of an option here. Let's do dampen on this leap here so we don't fly too high. Just enough to get over the wall there. Okay, and where did the other bed go? Did I pick up 2 of them? You should have 3 beds in there now because there's 1 inside there. Okay, perfect. How do you feel about raw potatoes? Give you that. There you go. And you guys just kind of share those. Make friends. Alright, perfect. So I was able to cycle his trades. He now wants source berries, so let's go ahead and give him what he wants. Source berries. We've got a few here, which is perfect because A, that will lock in his trade as a shady wizard, and it will also give us our first emeralds, which is not too many of them, but, you know, it works. Cool, thank you. What else would you like? Warp scrolls and wilden horns. I've got plenty of those. Bastion fruit. I've got a few of those as well. Fruit. Not a whole lot, but enough, hopefully. And cool. Alright, you guys both have potatoes. Where is your infant? You are able to reach us, right? Okay, 3 beds, 2 of you. Yes? Maybe. And you're locked up. Okay. Well, whatever. We'll get back to that. In the meantime, I have emeralds, and honestly, that's kind of all I cared about. Let's switch you back to that, and let's head home. Okay, so what I wanted to do was I wanted to make ourselves 2 spells, and that's what I've been needing emeralds for a while, and the first one is Extract. Yes, Silk Touch. Finally have it. Alright, so we have Extract, and the next one I don't actually need as much, but I did notice that it also just costs an emerald, so hey, might as well. And the last one is Exchange, and I can't remember exactly what all this one needs. Block of emerald, 2 pearls, and manipulation essence, so I think we've got those. Essence. Cool, we have 1, that's good enough. Nope, give you back please, thank you. And exchange. Toss you on. It's not going to craft the rest because it can't reach it. Clear you. Give ourselves a block of emerald. Cool. And 2 pearls. Which we have. Perfect. Cool. Now, filter item, I don't actually need this one as a filter, but every glyph counts. So every glyph that you learn, of course, increases the maximum mana, which means I'll be able to cast things longer, which is always a good thing to have. Hey, it looks like they made a friend. Perfect. When you grow up, I would like you to buy some potatoes, please, because I have quite a few of them, and I need more emeralds. So, yeah, get to work. Well, while we've been waiting for all of our villagers to start breeding up, I got a little busy and I got a little distracted. You know, I mentioned that I needed to raise the floor of our storage hall a little bit, so we did it. We raised the whole floor up 1 block. Yes, that's all we did. I didn't work on the outside yet. It's kind of just bare bones. I'm going to figure out, I think most of this is actually going to be closed, and maybe I'll have smaller windows on the sides here. The second floor will have more windows, but my thought process here was I liked the pillars that we had. They looked very nice and regal. The problem, however, was that it didn't offer me a good way to divide this into rooms. So now we've got, in fact, this room over here is the more finished of the 4 here. Here we have rooms, we have walls actually, and what this will allow me to do is more better, that's not the right wording here. It'll help me to be able to divide things out. Small rooms like this, the enchanting apparatus setup, as well as things like an elevator. Yes, we do have a flight ritual down there, so we can just fly up whenever, but I don't like relying on flight. Yeah, I don't like it. I'd rather just have like a bubble column, step over here, fly up there, and be done. And now that we've got that done, we can actually start working on setting up the storage. So our existing chests here, I moved them 2 blocks up because they were on the floor 1 block down. So floor 1 block down, 2 blocks. So now everything is moved up here. It is still complete chaos in them, however, which isn't, you know, ideal, but it'll work for now. Let's throw everything in here and everything will happily get sorted out. And E still does not exit from that screen. Another thing that we have been able to do now is that we have emeralds. All of our wandering traders over here are now actually useful. So I bought some of each of the saplings here that they have for sale. I think I haven't bought these yet. You just need 1. And I have lily pads now. Cabbage seeds. I can get cabbage seeds from a market, so I'm not too worried about those seeds. But basically that opens up more opportunities for different things we can grow. Just throw those in there for now, as well as we'll now be able to get more crops for our field over here. Well, I am slowly piecing together a front facade that I like. It's coming along. I'm still not sure about the gems here. I'm going to move those definitely, and it's too thick there, so I'll figure something out. But for right now, the whole reason why I wanted to do this is because I have plans, and those plans involve these guys right here, imbuement chambers. Right now, all of my calcite comes from these 2 chambers, basically. These are turning source gems into manipulation essence, which then can turn the calcite. It takes a while. They're slow. There's only 2 of them, and it's not entirely automated. It's just sort of like I go and grab gems and throw them into the hopper here. It works, but it's not ideal. All that to say, I did want to mention that this took me a few hours. So we have kind of a whole system here. We've got compacting drawers over on this side. I've got them all kind of filled out. I have, 6 empty spaces here available. 7. I don't think I actually want this one here. You. Okay. So those are locked. I've got 7 spaces for compactable items. Not sure what to use yet. And over on this side here, these will be these limited barrels. But unfortunately, we don't really have a good way of locking them yet. it's sort of like you have to have an item to lock it. Unlike the drawers over here where I can lock it as empty so it won't take things, I need to actually have items to lock them to have items. I suppose I could use like filler items or something, but I didn't feel like doing that, so right now it's just kind of an empty space here. That is of course hooked up to the storage controller here, which as you can see, Mr. Wormy here likes the storage controller, so that is hooked up to the lectern over here, as well as this controller on this side is also hooked up. And it took a while to set this up because basically what I had to do is I had to break this. Well, I had to break it anyway because I needed to move it up, but I had to disconnect everything because I need to have these prioritized, and right now the storage controller over here needs to be the highest priority. So basically items come in first, going to check the first available inventory, which is right here. Congratulations, you're first. That will then fill out these the drawers there, compacting drawers. Second in line here is the storage controller over here for the limited barrels and limited chests if I use them, but buyers can use the barrels. And then I can get the actual chests and repositories. Now, purely for aesthetics, I linked up the repositories next, which means these will start filling out with effectively random items, and as they do, it'll start filling up these book slots. So that'll ideally fill out this side first, and then these over here will act as kind of overflow storage. In the meantime, this was where all my items were to begin with, so if they're over here, then they'll go over here anyway. Things like sugarcane, cobblestone, all that sort of stuff, anything that is farmed will either be in the compacting drawers over there or in the barrels on this side. Basically, the idea is it's more of deep storage. I can have several thousand of things I'll be using a lot of, i.e. calcite, or I guess rather deep slate. I'll probably set up automation to turn into calcite anyway, so that'll probably be over here too. But all that to say is we have basically a storage that I'm not going to have to really do much. It is just going to be working pretty much from here on out. This is a lot of storage. I want to kind of emphasize just how much storage this is. These are all double chests. The repositories over there, I've got 24 of them as well. These are basically double chests. See, they don't make the nice sound bowl. And then of course drawers are drawers. You can store several thousand of those. In fact, gold and iron, actually, I do need to get some upgrades in here because these are actually almost full. But yeah, everything else, I've got plenty of storage for everything. And with the random number of items from the double chests and repositories here, we should be good for pretty much the rest of the season. But like I mentioned, what I want to actually get done today, besides organizing, because organizing is not something I really want to do on camera, I want to set up some imbuement chambers. So let me clear out my inventory, and gotta say, already loving this whole bookworm system. I can just throw things in here. I've got everything listed, and since it is with an enchanter's eye, I can access this from pretty much anywhere. Maybe worth noting, I did swap it out so it's actually underneath the storage lectern here instead of the one over on this side. No real reason, I moved this one and I didn't have the other one set up yet, so I needed it hooked up. So over here we have a few random enchanting or imbuement chambers. This one here is making our... Are you empty? You're actually empty. I didn't notice it last time I emptied this out. Okay, cool. Well, we need to empty this all out anyway. We need some imbuement chambers. We need some automation. So I'm going to pick up, I think, all of these. And the reason why I needed to get all this done is I needed a second floor. My plan is to have up here be basic auto crafting automation. So to kind of overview again, source generation, raw material production, and main automation will be in the actual tower here. I say tower, it's really only going to be probably 2.5 floors. So bottom floor storage, second floor automation, third floor bed, I guess. Not really sure, maybe a little study or something. But the idea is up here we will set up some automation. So let me get enough materials to actually do this, and I probably need a few squirrels too. The idea is, since an imbuement chamber is able to view a 3x3x3 around it, you can actually stack them up like this. The pedestals can go like that. And what this will also allow me to do is, if I want any additional chambers, let's grab chamber. I've got 4 here. For instance, over here, I know that the manipulation essence, I'm going to need a lot of this. So what I can actually do is I can just go around like this, and I'm able to have 8 of these go all the way around these 3 pedestals. So if I want, I can produce quite a lot of this pretty easily. Let's break those because I don't need those at the moment. Now, here's the plan. I want everything to go into storage. Storage is downstairs. So how am I going to do this? Well, let's go ahead and grab ourselves a lectern. I think I have 10 of them here. These are not too expensive to craft. It's just a lectern and some chests. Easy enough. We're going to put you right here, I suppose. Works for me. Cool. And what we're going to do is I don't want this to run continuously. I want it to run until I keep a certain amount of stock of each essence. I don't want it filling up everything down below here because that's what it will do. Is if I let it, it's just going to fill up everything it can. So here's the plan. We're going to send things to the storage lectern using probably a Starbuncle, I think. Yeah. And what we're going to do then is for actually doing this, I'm only going to have one Starbuncle is going to be taking from every pedestal there, or not pedestal, chamber, whatever you want to call it, and setting it to a drawer. Not just any drawer, a drawer that is up one block. Let's go ahead and break you. Now the idea is we're going to be actually sending this instead then to a chest. And it's kind of a weird setup, but basically what's going to happen if I grab some apples here. So we've got our apples, let's go ahead and put them in. What's going to happen is it's just going to drain straight out of the drawer into the chest. Now the idea is I'll have a Starbuncle whose job is to take things from any of these chests. I'll have one of these for each of these, for each element or whatever you want to call it. Element's probably the right word. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is put these just in front. Yeah, that'll work. Of course, then I can't see this, which is unfortunate. I'm not entirely sure where I'll put it yet, but here's a basic concept at least. This here is right there. Cool. Let's grab our display case. A display case is a really interesting block. It's basically a level emitter, and what we can do is we can link it to, so wait, shift right click will switch it from being true, greater than or less than. So let's link you to you. Not a valid inventory. Oh, fine. Link this up first. Cool, thank you. Now it should recognize that as a valid inventory. From you to you. From you to you. Yes, there we go. We want this to monitor air essence. So let's see if we have any in here. We have one air essence. Cool. So if we monitor this, powered false, because emit if it is greater than 0, which means we have 0 in there. So yeah, if we throw 1 in here though, this is now powered true, which is now going to lock the hopper. Let's see up at the top there. Hopper's locked. Cool. So basically what we're going to do is if we have a certain amount, probably 1,000 or so, we are going to stop the hopper from sending more to the chest, which will stop it from going into the storage. So storage downstairs will only have 1,000 of each thing. And our squirrels up here will stop processing stuff because oak drawer will be filled up with only 8. I want it to have only 64 items, and I believe there is an iron upgrade, or downgrade here rather, at functional. There is an iron downgrade, which downgrades the slots to a maximum of 64 items. So we won't have a whole lot of stuff left as stock up here, and I think this will work pretty well. I have been doing some thinking. And I think this will work. My original plan was to use a drawer on top here to actually kind of set the item, but what I realized is I can actually just have a Starbuncle fill the hopper directly, and with the item frame on the hopper here, so item frame right there, that single pixel is an item frame. Let's, hello there. Air essence inside there means that if I have a Starbuncle who's told to fill this hopper, he's only going to put air essence in there. And what I can do then is have a chest in the same spot because item frames are in fact an entity instead of a block, so they can share space. Cool. What I can do is he'll fill this one with essence, 5 stacks, and at the same time I'll be able to have a Starbuncle pull from this chest and deposit into the storage lectern. So let's hop downstairs here. I was hoping that my flight has still been running, but apparently not. Down here, I've got a very simple setup of the enchanting apparatus with a Starbuncle, whose sole job is to take from A and insert in B. And the back here has to have a few hoppers. You can easily do this with all 8. I just have only ever needed it for 4 so far. We're going to throw 16 in each of these. 16 Starbuncle shards in there as well. and basically this should just start working. So once that one is done, then we'll have a Starbuncle to work with because I ran out of charms. As far as actually getting the shards here, we have two options. One is waiting for natural spawns, which I'll be waiting for quite a while because I do have some dread lamps around here now. This here is stopping passive mobs, so no more Starbunkles will spawn. But we have our villagers up there, of course, so we can actually just buy Starbunkles. So that's going to be helpful. Anyway, down here, let's go ahead and place you there. Hello, thank you. You need something to do. Your job shall be take from chest. And I'm going to set all of these. 3 and 4. Cool. And you will now deposit directly into lectern. Cool. So if I go up here and let's swap this out because I don't have another Starbuncle yet. If I put this in here, that will go into the chest. A squirrel. You, there you go. So he was following me because he was trying to pick up the essence from when you pick it up here. It actually pops into the world real quick, so he tries to go grab that. But that won't be much of an issue once this is all set up. So this can go in here. Same story. He'll come over here, realize that he has a job, and send that into storage. Cool. And if I take a look at essence, specifically Abjuration Essence, which I think is this one right here. So Abjuration Essence will be going into this area. Let's go ahead and link these as well. 1, 2, 3, and 4, counting with Zieg. Cool, you now know what to do. And if I put this in here, go ahead. Cool. Now, if I look at this, because you are emitting at greater than 8. Now, I believe I only have exactly 8. So if I decrease this by 1 with a left click, that will now be powering the hopper. And if I were to take a look at this, let's grab one of those. If I put you in here, of course, now it's not going to be locked. Let's emit at 6. There we go. So if this goes in here, it's just going to sit there. So once we get another Starbuncle who will actually be pulling the essence and stuff, they'll be filling in here. This will just fill up with essence once we're done. And when we get to a certain amount in storage, then it will turn off the hopper, which will prevent it from crafting anymore. Once it fills up, of course. So let's bump you back to 8. And at the moment, that will then unlock that one. You can go back in there. Perfect. Awesome. One step is done. Starbuncle shards are still crafting up. I've got 13 of them so far. You can grab that. Thank you. Cool, thank you. 14. Yay! And next up, we need a squirrel whose job shall be filling up each of these hoppers. So we're going to say from the squirrel to the hopper. From the squirrel to the hopper. Need to remember which one to click and which one to not click. Okay. So now you can see it's actually, we have a new change now where it will start highlighting the inventories it is linked to, which is amazingly helpful. And we're also going to do the same over here. So your job is going to be filling up every one of these. And I probably actually should not bind to these two yet. Maybe I'll put something there to block it. The problem is that I don't have all the materials to make the water essence and the anima essence. Anima needs a wither skull, which I don't have, and water needs some snow, which I also don't have. So this squirrel here is storing at 8 locations. He is storing at each of those hoppers, which is all well and good, but we need you to actually start taking from these chambers. So you can pull from there. And he should start working right away and just grabbing that one. Cool, thank you. And of course then other squirrel will realize he has something to do and take that into storage. Perfect. So same story from you to you, from this chamber to you as well, from this one, and just all the way around. Now the ones that have a source gem in them, stop moving. The ones that have source gems in them, actually I haven't put a source gem in here yet. Storing at 8, taking from 5, yes, okay. Oh. Accidentally left click, sorry about that, buddy. From you to you, and from you to you. Cool. You are done. Next up, I need to actually fill these up with source gems now that I'm taking the essence out. So there are two ways we can go about this. One is we can actually just pull directly from the storage lectern, which is possible. Very possible, very doable. The problem is it's the equivalent of linking one starbuncle up to every storage that's down there. So basically every tick, and then I think every 5 seconds or so, it will search every single slot of every chest down there, every drawer, everything, and see if it has a valid output. Which may not be too good on the server TPS, although for TPS, I think we're doing pretty well. 7 milliseconds, not too bad. The other thing we can do is instead of linking it through the storage lectern, we can keep it as just items up here in storage. So, what is this mess? This mess here is not an incredibly efficient setup, but decently. So something that Zacharias pointed out to me the other day was a way that he can place a bunch of amethyst so that every side is available. Now for the middle 2 sections here, we'll get to that in a second, that's me just making it look fancy, but basically what you do is you can stack up cobblestone or temporary blocks, mage blocks, whatever you'd like to do, and then just kind of spiral around it, amethyst, 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 all the way up, until you have a lovely little spiral, and you'll notice that none of these will be sharing block space. What that means is if a bud grows here, it's not going to be blocking buds growing anywhere else. So you can actually pack these pretty tight. I didn't do this incredibly efficient though, because looks, aesthetics. If I have these closer together, it would make sense to have them all spiral the same direction, but then it doesn't look as good. I wanted that tower and this tower to spiral opposite directions, because it just looks better, in my opinion. Either way, we have an amethyst golem down here who's been working very hard, very diligently. Thank you very much. Thank you. We need your charm. So he's been working down here. That's all budding amethyst. We've got plenty of amethyst at the moment, but we're going to start needing quite a lot pretty soon. So your new job, and actually I realize that I need to say you, from you, regular right click, yes, from you to this chest. That is now your home. Congratulations, you now have a home. Now we can break all the cobblestone here, because this was just a temporary block, of course. And now he's going to slowly start converting these to budding amethyst, and we will have our new amethyst farm up here. Once it gets a little bit more established, then I'll get rid of the one down below there, and we'll be able to get some of our floor space back. But at the moment, I think this will be working quite well. And one last one over here. Cool. He has like a 10 block radius range, so it's cubic radius as well, so it's like 10 blocks in every direction. It's like 21 by 21 by 21 high, I think, as well. You can reach pretty high. This is not as efficient as it could be. I could fit a whole lot more in here, but to be honest, I don't need it. Amethyst dust, charged amethyst. I need to figure out where to put those. At the moment, everything is just going down here into storage. I think I've got amethyst dust is here. We've got quite a lot of it. Amethyst itself, got 3,000 of it, so not too bad. And that's just off of this small little area here, which is pretty small. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different amethyst here. Not a whole lot, and it's been very productive. So it doesn't have to be the most efficient ever. It doesn't have to be the biggest ever. It's going to be more than I need anyway. So I think with that, that should be pretty good. I need to figure out, though, what I want to do in order to make sure that this is not getting filled up with charged amethyst and amethyst dust. What do I want to do with that? And yes, these here in the middle, this block and this block, they are in fact sharing this block space here. Quite frankly, I don't care. There should be plenty being grown that it's not going to be too big of an issue. I just wanted some sort of symmetry here, and I think that should be fine. But yes, it could be... Oop, did not want to fall. It could be worse, could be better. For instance, I could also break out the blocks underneath these bottom ones, or bump the whole thing up, and it'd give me an extra space from the block underneath there. Again, don't really care. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist, and that's pretty much good enough. I don't really like the idea, but I think it might work. So if I have You know, that storage lectern is probably close enough. If I tell you that your job shall be to only carry amethyst dust and the charged amethyst and send to a storage lectern. In fact, you know, let's do it this way. Let's put you right here. We'll break that light. We'll put another light somewhere else here. I think there might be enough light now with these guys anyway. If I put a chest right here, and I can then take an item frame right there. Cool. Let's go ahead and grab, you need to be linked. From you to you. Cool. You should have everything now. Awesome. Let's get an allow scroll. Allow. You are just a blank parchment. Easy enough. Thank you. And a chest, which I should have some regular chests in there. Perfect. Item scroll allow. Oh, look, I made a quest. If I put this down here and I take some amethyst. I want a charged amethyst, please, and an amethyst dust. So I believe I just shift right click these to add them to the allow scroll. Pick that up. Amethyst dust and charged amethyst. Perfect. If I put this on here, awesome. And your job then shall be to take from this chest to you. Thank you. And from you to this chest. Get to work. Sweet. Pick that up. Pick that one up. Awesome. Now these, being next to a storage lectern, are automatically going to get pulled into the system. Cool. And this way he doesn't have to keep checking against the entire contents of the lectern. He can just, you know, deposit into the chest. Next up, you need to have an additional chest, and I'm going to put that back over here. Thank you. So you are going to be from you to you, and we're going to take an item frame, put it on here, and in you will be just regular amethyst shards. Cool. So that means if any regular amethyst ends up in here, like so, you have two outputs. One is those items, the allow scroll over there, and one other is over here. Perfect. Your job is now complete. Perfect. Thank you. I need to give you a name and a color. Yes, good job. Next up, we need to take the amethyst and turn it into our source gems, which I think is about the last step for this. Alright, so before we can get that going, I realized that you guys need to be a little bit cooler. All of you need some sunglasses here because I don't want you picking things up if they're not in a storage. So you can go there. I think that's everyone so far. Okay, so we've got Amy. Your job is to get amethyst. Cool, thank you, good job. We have Gem. I've not configured you yet. And we have Essentia. Your job is to pull from the chambers to the hoppers. Cool. And I need a name for you. Your job is to take from the chests into storage. You need a name. You'll get a name later. Anyway, over here we have ourselves, I put down 6 imbuement chambers and a new chest, which currently is labeled for source gems. So your job is going to be to take, I'm going to say from you to you. I'm going to set up the send locations first, which is much easier now that I can actually visualize things. Thank you, Bailey. Cool. And then your job is to take amethyst. There you go. Get to work. Sweet. That's all running. Amy, I think I can use you again. If I tell you to fill this thing, this chest, if you find any source gems, you'll be able to put them in there. So what I can do then is I can actually take from each of these. No, I can't, because if I do that, never mind. Nope, that won't work. Clear. Your job, I need to set back up again from there and to there. And pull from this chest here. Sorry about that, Amy. I thought you could do two things. The problem is that I can't have Amy pulling from these because she'll see the amethyst shard here and say, oh, look, I've got a box for that, and put it in here, which is not what I want. I also can't tell Gem to take from them because they'll be like, oh, look, I have an amethyst shard right here. I can put it in this one, and it'll just keep popping back and forth. So we're going to need another one. You need a name too. Your job shall be to take from each of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Cool, and your job is to fill up this chest here. Thank you. Let's see, is there anyone else who can do double duty here? Might be. Let's see, I'm thinking I'm going to need another Starbuncle again, and I'm doing this kind of inefficiently because I have this little interim thing of filling up the chest and then going to storage instead of just, normally I would just go from a single, or from all the chambers to a single output chest, but I wanted to have this go to main storage so I can always access it. So I am having to use extra Starbuncles compared to what I normally do, but the thing is, I don't have anyone who can do this next step. You, Amy, actually Amy could. Amy could do this. I need someone to take from this source gem chest and deposit in all of these chambers. Essentia here can't do it because they're already looking at the chambers and pulling Essentia from that, or pulling items from them and depositing to these chests. Now, I can't have you also filling these same chambers with source gems because once again it'll be popping back and forth. This one over here, nameless, you can't do it because your job is to take everything from all inputs and deposit it into the storage lectern. I don't want to stick a label on here. So you can't do it because you're going to just start pulling all the source gems and putting them to storage, which would be nice, but I don't really need that right now. Amy might be able to do this. So, like I said, it's pulling from this chest, which currently you're not interacting with yet, and depositing to chambers, which you're also not interacting with. Currently, you're only going to be picking up amethyst and the charged amethyst and dust, which I think is fine. So I think Amy might be able to do that. You're going to be running back and forth a lot, but that's probably okay. Yeah, let's say you're going to take from this chest. Stop running. Okay. So source gems are not on either of the other filtered locations, so that's fine. And if I take from you to you, the only thing that will actually fit in there is a source gem. So I think this will work. Right. You. Shift right click. And you, wait, position set. No, I want stored entity, deposit there. Stored entity and deposit over here. Yes. Awesome. I think this whole setup is now working. Well, I still need to color code all the Starbuncles, but I think we've got a working system here. I did throw everything from down below into this chest here to kind of get a little bit of a head start going, which means we've got lots of amethyst in here, and these can actually start processing. So we've got Crystal, who is Gem's sister. The two of them are working away, turning the amethyst into source gems and taking them to and from storage here. Cool, thank you very much. So this is slowly filling up. Over here we have Bob, whose job is to store into the storage lectern. We've got Essentia, whose job is to take from the chambers into the hoppers. One thing is I did have to put some cobblestone over here in these item frames because Bob was getting a little Essentia was getting carried away and pulling all of the source gems out and putting them in here because these are currently not filtered because I don't have these the two essences yet. Bob likes to walk over here. Not sure why. Meanwhile, Amy is diligently somewhere taking the source gems and putting them into the actual essence chambers, the embodiment chambers. So this is now completely up and running. We've got, looks like we've got 4 on this side, 7 total budding amethyst. So it'll take a little bit to get it up to speed, which is why we had the backup from downstairs, which means I can actually now clear that out down there, and that should be good. The only thing I don't really have accounted for down here is the charged amethyst. So blocks of amethyst dust are right here, and we can store 10,000 of those, so I'm not too concerned about that for now. Regular amethyst won't be actually going in here pretty much ever again. I can always, once everything gets backlogged and filled up entirely, so like once it starts getting amethyst stuck in here because that chest is full, we can actually just grab it manually and deposit it into the storage lectern just to give us some buffer for if I want to build with it. Same with the source gems. This will fill up with source gems, and I'll be able to just grab that whenever. Currently, I've got 805 source gems in storage, so I should be good for a while for all my building needs. Other than that, I think everything is up and running, and we now have lots of essence, which means I can actually start building again. Manipulation essence was, again, my main bottleneck there, and I don't think I have a whole lot in here. Nope, not a whole lot. 9, which means this is actually probably powered, which is locking, which is, I think, what it's supposed to do. Yeah, this one here, 3 fire essence, sounds good. And of course, once we actually get everything up and running properly, we'll be able to actually set higher numbers on this. My plan is to set these to probably 2 or 3 stacks. Keep in mind that we've got 5 additional stacks of storage in the hopper here before it'll actually stop making it. So I think that'll be plenty. Manipulation essence, I'll probably increase that number. In fact, what I can do already is I'm actually going to put one there, one there, one there, and one there. And we just need to add those to the 2 squirrels, and it will be up and running, producing a whole lot more manipulation essence, hopefully more than we need. But I've got a lot of building to do, and I need a lot of materials, so I think I'm going to call this for an episode. We've got a lot done. We've got our main store hall, and we've got the materials processing set up to be able to continue building. So I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.